gets into what's known as the generations of warfare.
Okay.
So the earliest generation of warfare, obviously, is a guy punching a guy. As we got into, the 1700s, well, maybe even.
Tim Pool is like such a good example of like a stupid person's idea of a smart person. Well, if you look at the earliest version of war, it was like a guy like punching another guy. It's we're back to torture time.
Ever use something.
Okay, I think we finished talking about this guy, so let's keep going.
Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
So, yeah, you're not going to have me defending the Democratic Party. I mean,
The Democratic Party has, I actually don't really care about this prompt. I was kind of done with this prompt. Can we do the next prompt? Oh, yes. We came back at a great time. Yes.
Absolutely.
Chair,
The United States is tracking towards a civil war.
if you'd like to be the first debater,
The United States is tracking towards a civil war.
please head to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back.
Yep. You miss me? So, listen, I think that we are getting closer towards a peak of civil unrest in this country, and in all honesty, I'm going to blame people like you. This entire time, you've been trying to blur the line.
Oh my God, he's back. He's back.
Between what separates you and a person like me and everybody in the circle. Okay. The truth is you don't agree. On your show, you have 5 white supremacists around you and 1 liberal lawyer talking about why we should protect the Constitution. On Twitter, you're mentioning the Civil War and why we need to have a Civil War 24/7.
I've never said we need to have a Civil War.
No, you've said Civil War numerous times. Slates of screenshots over the last 4 years alone.
Saying
That's,
that
I'm not
there
done.
will
talking
be
about shooting
one
ivermectin
is
up your
very-
ass.
I've
and
never
then
talked
all
to-
the time.
I've
Stop
never
talking,
advocated
stop.
for ivermectin.
Yeah,
You have literally
stop
no
talking,
idea what you're
stop
talking about. You've
I
not
do,
done any
I do.
research,
You're
and
mad.
you've never
You're
used
mad.
Google.
You're
I've
mad.
never advocated for
You've
ivermectin.
never used Google.
Not once.
He's not going to
In
stop
fact,
talking. You're going to waste the
I've
clock.
never used it. I never used I said no.
I mean, Tim Pool is literally the thing that he is the most well known for is constantly being on the lookout and encouraging a civil war.
you shouldn't use it.
I'm going to get to
so
the point
if you want
here.
to make things up,
Are you an
and you wanna-
intellectual or are you too much of a child
You
to
want to
stop
just
talking?
waste time, then we can waste time. But if you have an
You are
actual
wasting time
argument,
right now, yeah.
so if
I'm
you
about to give it to
agree
you.
with
So
me on the issue, but you don't
typically-
like me, then we can agree and you can
No, I
leave.
think you're responsible. I think
That's
you're
fine.
responsible.
You can get up
An
and leave
individual
then.
like you're mad.
If you
Yeah,
agree,
you just don't want to finish. You know where I'm going to go with this.
Do you agree?
You
Do
you so
agree?
mistrust in
You're
United
allowed
States
to blame me
institutions.
all you want, and then we can agree and you can leave.
You just want to run away from the
Are
conversation?
you here to dispute my claim or agree with it?
I think you're responsible.
That's fantastic. Thank you and have a nice
Oh,
day.
you don't want to hear why you're responsible?
It doesn't matter because you're here to dispute my claims, right? Not
It
agree
doesn't
with
matter.
me?
You don't. All of a sudden, you want to stick to the definition of your claims when it comes to just about everything.
Are you
Everything
supposed
else
to
you want
agree with me and
you
sit
wanna
here and
ch-
agree
You're not
with
going
me?
to stop talking, are you?
Are you going to sit here and agree
Ready
with
to
me?
control yourself? You're like 50 years old,
You're
bro.
going to sit
Calm
here and
down.
agree with me?
Calm down.
You come down.
I
you
don't
sit
agree
down,
with you. I
don't
disagree with
shake
you on
hands,
everything.
You make fake claims.
Of course I do.
I've
If
never
anybody's
advocated-
doing something that
never-
they don't
I've
actually
never
believe in, it's
advocated
you
for
because you're
ivermectin.
getting paid by
In
other
fact,
countries.
I argued
You're
with
an
Joe
asset
Rogan
for our
on
foreign
his show.
adversaries, bro.
I
You're an
advocated on
asset
Joe
for our foreign
Rogan's show
adversaries.
against ivermectin.
David, can you please address the claim?
I think America is getting closer to civil war, and it's all because of people like Tim Pool.
Thank you for agreeing with me. Have a nice day.
Yeah, you're a coward, bro.
Well, if you don't agree with me, I don't know why you're here. Also, I would recommend doing research.
If you don't agree with me, why are you here? Wait, what?
Coward, bro.
Well, if you don't agree with me, I don't know why you're here.
He's saying. I think he meant to say, well, if you agree with my prompt, then why were you even sitting there? But then he misspoke. Oh! Dude, he actually fried his ass so bad, dude. Oh my god. He like, he rustled. He got his panties in a fucking knot, dude. He actually made him so mad.
Also, I would recommend doing research before you come to a place like this.
If you'd like to be the next debater.
Dude, his jimmies were so rustled, dude. His panties were tied up in a knot, dude. Yeah, well, why didn't you do research when you come in?
Please head to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back.
Damn.
Good to see you again.
Great to see you again.
Yeah.
First time we talked about this was in 2019, so it's been quite
Guys, this is how you know I'm an insufferable, annoying person. Because, like, that guy's great. I mean, Mason's cool too, but the green-haired, green shirt guy, that guy's great, dude. I love people that just can't control themselves, dude. They can't
Quite a
I think
while
it was
since
before
you've
that,
been
actually.
calling
they
for
can't
civil war.
resist just being annoying, dude. As one annoying person to every other annoying person. Oh man, is it hard? Is it hard to not like annoying people? It's like it's such a bad quality, but it's such a good quality when you're actually based. Oh,
I've never called for civil war.
Or not calling for. I'm sorry. Said that we're on
Important
the brink
distinction.
of civil war.
And what was the citation I had for when I said that?
I would love you.
It was
tell
The
me.
Atlantic.
Okay.
And it was a journalist who interviewed several national security experts who said
here, let me pull up Tim Pool.
that there is a range of opinions in the national security space that the U.S. is trending towards a civil war. Notably, that when you cite people like Stephen Marsh, journalist, as well as Barbara F. Walter, former CIA, the U.S. Academics describe the period that we're in as civil strife, meaning there's a criteria of death that has occurred for political reasons over the past year or years, for which the next phase would be civil war. However, we'll make my point, tracking towards it, I've not said that it will happen. Although there's been many people who have said that we are in a cold civil war or some kind of cultural civil war, I always caveat because I
Tim,
don't actually have a strong prediction.
First of all, you do have a strong prediction if you've been saying this since 2019. There's
Well,
42.
reading articles about
people
it,
can
sure.
look this up. There's
Yeah.
42 of your titles that have the word civil war in it
Correct.
with big fonts on the front.
They sure do.
So why is that? It's sensationalist. It's easy to get clicks on that. There's a reason why you say it because it's very profitable for your.
Just a quick search on Twitter. You are, from Tim Pool, August 1st, 2023. You are in a civil war. On a post from NBC News saying, breaking, former President Trump has been indicted by a federal grand jury investigating efforts to overturn the 2020 election. You mean people being held accountable to the law is somehow a civil war? Trump is the frontrunner for not just the GOP, but for the 2024 general. Removing him is an act of civil war. Guys, liberals think the civil war is coming. LOL, can you believe it? Dude said it's going to be a civil war because they're refusing the law. This is very dangerous to our democracy. The argument against civil war is population. Gen Z and Alpha are just too small. Holy fuck, look at the website. This is overtly illegal. I don't want to say outright civil war when there's a good chance foreign actors are doing this too, but holy fuck, Secretary of War needs to stop this. Yeah, this is a civil war. Pam Bondi, and that one is about a post that says, it's true, Pam Bondi sent Minnesota officials a letter today saying ICE would leave the state if Minnesota turns over its voter files to the Trump administration. Like literally 90% of his job is to fearmonger about a civil war. The reason I and others such as Tucker know these things is because when the U.S. plans regime change, you want to predict the outcome. Massive civil war, refugee crisis. Okay, so the civil war here is about Iran, not the United States. 2023. It's going to be funny in 100 years when they're like, quote, a major catalyst for the Second World War was when Democrats demanded the right to sterilize children and amputate healthy body parts, but faced opposition from Republicans. I see, I bookmarked this one because I thought it was so fucking stupid. Like, I to pretend like the person that isn't like causing 99% of the fear mongering about civil war is him. Like, hello?
Business.
Not necessarily.
But
We have
comes a point-
1,600
Tim Pool,
episodes of just
Tim
IRL.
Pool. There comes a point where people stop taking your predictions seriously.
Are you going to make an
If you've
argument,
said-
or are you mad at me?
I'm not mad at you. I'm
Okay,
trying
then
to
let's make an
explain.
argument about whether
I'm
or not
trying.
we are tracking.
Can
No.
you relax?
If you're making
This guy in the back.
an
point-
argument, you
no,
don't
Tim.
like my thumbnails, or you try to say my
I'm
name
saying,
over and over
I'm
again.
saying that you say bullshit in order to get money. But what
Let me
I
ask
really
you-
think
let
is
me ask you a
the
question.
predictions.
Let me
Hold
ask
on.
you a
Tim,
question you can't
I will
answer.
agree with you that there's increased polarization.
Huh?
I would attribute a
All
lot
right,
of that
let
to
me-
people being specifically online.
Are you mad at me is so funny mid-debate. Me having a very serious conversation with someone. Are you mad at me? Are you mad at me? Don't be so mad at me, please.
Let me ask.
There's
I
a
don't
lot
disagree.
less interaction with
completely
people
agree.
that are in
Sure.
different camps.
Let me ask you a question.
But you're going to sit here and tell me that we're way more polarized than fucking Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr, who like shot each other with their disagreements. You're going to
Why
tell me
was
that
Aaron
Andrew
Daniels-
Jackson, who's the sitting
Do you
president,
want to have a
calling people up for
conversation, or are you just going to
duels,
be
is
angry?
not polarization?
Why was Aaron Danielson shot in the chest twice?
Sorry?
Why was Aaron Danielson shot in,
I'm
the chest
not
twice?
disagreeing that political violence is
Answer
taking
the
place
question.
in
You say
Tim
Alexander
Pool.
Hamilton and Aaron Burr, but then when I ask you a question about an
He
assassination,
doesn't understand that the answer that he if he would just let Mason speak, he would understand that he was answering the question. He's saying, yeah, those are random incidents of violence, not evidence of a civil war that is brewing.
you
The
you defer.
Where you can say that
Let me
there's
ask you a
civil
question.
war
Demanding an answer but refusing to allow the person to give a full answer is so like it's so cringy. It's like it's so low intelligence. Oh my fucking god.
every fucking year, and it doesn't happen. And
I
you're gonna
never
say,
said
it just
there
hasn't
was.
happened yet.
Let me ask you a
or
question.
if it does happen, you say, see, I've had it all
Let me
along.
ask you a
You
question.
are the same thing as
Let-
like the
let me
Christian rapture
ask you
people
a
who say
question.
that the rapture's coming every fucking year,
Are
and
you-
when it doesn't happen, it's
do you want
like,
a
oh, it's just not
soapbox?
happening.
Like this guy in the back in the green, he's like, yes, you're fucking eating. Yes. This is so mean.
Rapture
Ask you
people
a
who say
question.
that the rapture's coming every fucking year,
Are
and
you-
when it doesn't happen,
do
it's
you want
like,
a
oh, it's just
soapbox?
not
You want me to get you a
happening.
soapbox?
It's really
I can leave.
easy.
You want me to?
I'm so glad they put this guy in the back, dude. Green shirt guy's the best one there. I know, right? Listen, I know Mason has a lot of enjoyers, but green shirt guy, that's my guy, man. That's my guy. Oh my god. Every time Tim starts losing, he just starts shouting, answer the question, answer the question. Yeah. I mean, if he would let Mason fucking speak without interrupting him every fucking 3 seconds, what the point that Mason is making is very salient, which is you can't point at every single thing that might be evidence of a civil war about to be brewing and pretend like it proves your point, and then goalpost, next year's gonna happen, next year's gonna happen, next year's gonna happen, next year's gonna happen. How is that any different from the people that are like, the rapture is coming, it's coming, it was foretold in the Mayan calendar, it would be coming this year, and then there's no rapture, and they're like, oh, well, we double checked the calendar, it's actually next year. But the rapture is coming, it's gonna come, it's gonna come, it's coming.
It's really easy to
You want
like
me to
do
leave?
what you do.
You want me
It's
to leave?
really easy to do what you do. Like you literally just say,
That is so soy, dude. Wait, did he leave because the other guy put on the beanie? He
In
rage
here,
quit
are
because
you-
of the beanie.
doesn't happen.
Do you want a
It's all
soapbox?
happening.
Do you want me to get you a
I'm just saying,
soapbox?
it's really
I can leave.
easy.
You want me to
It's really
go?
easy to
You want
like
me to
do
leave?
what you do.
You want me to
It's
leave?
really easy to do what you do. Like you literally just say, the Civil War is happening next year. Civil War is happening next year. It's coming. Make sure you subscribe to Timcast. Continue to watch my videos, please. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. It's easy to do what you do, bro. GG's.
Nobody's actually had a debate yet. Are we going to actually talk about whether it will or will not happen? I mean, sounds like it's gonna.
All right. If you like to be the
People making fun of you is evidence of a civil war coming. Me when I'm getting bullied. See, this is evidence that a civil war is brewing. It's not that I'm an unlikable sackish tit and my name is Mr. Tim Pool. It must be that there's some type of civil war brewing.
next debater, please head to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome. Nice to meet you. Hey, nice to meet you.
I think we are being constantly fueled by the people that are already in charge, that are up on top, that are already wealthy, and that already have power over the entire government. Donald Trump has 8 billionaires in his administration, including himself. You see his sons profiting, you see his friends profiting, you see everyone in close ties with him profiting.
Can I?
They're not.
Dude, every single one of these Tim Pool prompts has been like, 1, very Weasley, but also 2, so fucking dog shit. Like, genuinely? Just genuinely. What evidence would he see as reasonable for a civil war not brewing? Hey, I don't think a civil war is brewing. I think you fearmonger about a civil war constantly being like on the precipice. But we see Democratic Socialist candidates constantly get elected. We see people get upset, and instead of doubling down on their love for Trump, a lot of those same people, you know, they switch sides, or at the very least, they disagree that they're for exclusively and only Trump. And most people just want good politics. They don't want to hate their neighbors necessarily. There are some people that want to. There are a lot of people that want to, but there are also equally, if not more, number of people that don't want that. They just want to live an okay life. We were kind of talking about the same idea earlier in stream, and someone linked this video. 60,000 Trump voters just elected a socialist. We asked them why. MAGA for Mamdani. How is this possible? Maybe we can watch this in a little bit. But the reality is, people are not. There are more than enough people that are not complete diehards that would be open to any politician that would actually deliver and make their life better.
Going to give up this power. I don't think we're on the verge of a civil war. I think we're due for a...
But like, what would you? Sorry, that would be the best, I think, answer that I would be able to give. But like, all he has to say is, well, nuh-uh, I think there's a civil war that's going to happen because people really don't like each other. It's like, okay. Now, like, now I don't understand. Now what?
revolution. Well, and I hope that's peaceful. I hope that's not violent. I hope we change.
This is fantastic. No, I appreciate this. Can I ask you some questions?
Yeah.
Do you believe that Donald, and I'm not trying to accuse you of believing this, but do you think that Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
Do you think that there are Nazis in his administration?
In his administration? Few. Yeah.
Do you think that I mean, how do you feel about them using the military to go after undocumented migrants in this country?
I think it is an unnecessary use of force when we should be targeting violent criminals that have come into this country illegally. That should be the sole focus when 70% of detainees in ICE custody do not have a criminal conviction. We're wasting resources and trying to use a show of militaristic power, which is a huge proponent of...
I'm not going to lie. He's getting hardcore mogged by this guy.
Fascism.
How do you feel about the death of Renee Good and Alex Preddy?
Unjustified.
Are you going to do anything about it?
I'm going to rally everyone here.
Is rallying going to stop murder?
I don't do this.
Is rallying going to stop the killing of people?
I annoy my few hundred friends and followers on my Instagram posts by reposting news stories.
Do you think...
This guy, like, how stupid of a line of argument can you make? Does he think that, like, there was a civil war because gay people wanted the right to get married? Does he think that there was a civil war because women wanted the right to vote? You can have protests, you could even have riots, and have the conditions of your state improve. State here meaning nation. Like, what? If you are unhappy with your elected officials and their current performance, that doesn't mean the next step is civil war.
Rallying will stop the killing of people.
What
by
I'm
ICE.
doing here now is trying to show people that they need to speak up, that we're not against each other right and left.
Do you believe speaking up will stop ICE from killing people?
I think speaking up will get us to the right process of voting people in the midterms and in the next election so that we can make changes the constitutional way.
How many people do you think will die between now and then?
Too many. There's already been too many people that have died.
So again, this is largely based off, I don't know if it's...
So wait, are you trying to incite a civil war?
No.
Do you want a civil war?
I'm asking
so
if you actually believe...
What do you want to do against ICE?
I like ICE.
Then you're happy that they're killing people?
No.
Okay, so what are you going to do? I'm
going to vote for Trump again.
He's the one that's...
Wow, isn't it crazy that you can dislike... First of all, what a fucking the 17 levels of stupidity is amazing. First of all, your response immediately made your previous questions completely fucking meaningless. You don't like what's happening, so you're gonna vote. Oh, it's almost like there are other things that you can do besides cause a civil war because you don't like the state of the nation. Second, you don't like how Trump is using ICE, so you're going to vote for ICE, for Trump again, to do exactly what ICE is doing. You don't like the killings, but you're going to vote for the people that are okay with the killings. Like, what?
Allowing ICE to kill people.
To be fair, I'm going to vote for J.D. Vance.
As I just said, he's the one not taking accountability.
See, I think there's a distinction here. For one, the claim is meant to be like
Screenshot guy is sending me, dude.
Partisan, but I have, of course, my partisan views.
Of course.
I like the Trump administration, though they've done a lot of bad things.
And that's fine.
And we can call it those bad things, but I'm going to continue to support it. My point largely is either the progressives will stand up against what they perceive as fascism, or fascism takes over.
Which they are
now,
doing.
By all means,
we just had the largest protest in the history of the United States. No King's protest.
We're going to pause here. Thank you. You've been voted out by the majority.
Yeah.
If you'd like to be the next debater, please head to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so the whole thing about civil war is that I do think that you need some sort of leadership, you know, that is being financially disenfranchised to incentivize a civil war. And we don't really have any strong progressive leaders in
I'm so glad that they kept in Enemy Charlie's piece in here. I love her.
office currently that are being meaningfully financially disenfranchised, the way slavers were. So
But
I
you,
think
you,
that
you don't. That's the challenge. I think. just
yes,
to
that is
plug right-
absolutely yes. That
you
is
don't.
the,
If you take a look at civil wars throughout history, we can use the Syrian civil war as an example. It started with a dozen or so disparate factions, largely of locals and various ideologies that ultimately coalesced around one group, either the Free Syrian Army, but then ultimately got taken over.
Right, sure,
Civil
but the
wars
thing
can
is
be
that, like-
fomented through.
Yes, but the problem is, again, you are no different from one of the rapture people if you say that everything has the potential to cause a civil war. Eventually, you might be right. Congratulations. Now what? Like literally, like now what? It's not impressive to incorrectly guess over and over. That's the equivalent of like going horse betting and you bet on the wrong horse and you're like, no, this time for real, it's going to win. This time it's going to win. This time it's going to win. This time it's going to win. Yeah, eventually you might be right. But like, what are you batting? Like 0 and 500 at this point? Like, it's not impressive the second you get the 1. Like, hello?
Small factions that bubble up.
certainly, but I think that you are vastly overestimating the kind of militant capacity of the American left. Like, we truly do not have like a far left in the US that would be willing to take up arms. It is so small. Furthermore, I do think that technology-wise, it's not, it's not an even battle anymore. Like, the military, the US military, which is largely conservative, and currently, Trump is in charge of them, the technology that they have to track, surveil, to remotely kill people would be absurd. I mean, I guess we could do some sort of guerrilla warfare, but this is American territory. It wouldn't go down like Vietnam, Like, we know where we are, we know where we're going.
This is a fantastic point, by the way, and this gets into what's known as the generations of warfare.
Okay.
So the earliest generation of warfare, obviously, is a guy punching a guy. As we got into, the 1700s, well, maybe even.
Tim Pool is like such a good example of like a stupid person's idea of a smart person. Well, if you look at the earliest version of war, it was like a guy like punching another guy. That's not war. That's just a fight. What? that's just a fist fight. Hello? What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? What's so insane too? You just look up like the definition, like the first definition, the first Wikipedia article. War is armed conflict between the armed forces of states or between governmental forces and armed groups that are organized under a certain command structure and have the capacity to sustain military operations or between such organized groups. Warfare isn't when two guys fight about something. It's specifically when organized groups of people fight. It doesn't have to be between two states. I mean, it can be between two different armed factions, but it's not just like when one guy fights another guy. That's classic war right there. Like, that's just a fight, dude.
Before then, you get field battles and drums and trumpets, and they refer to this largely as like third generation. Fourth generation is what they refer to as insurgency, terror, guerrilla warfare tactics, which we saw famously people bring up during the American Revolution. Many people refer to the period we're now in as fifth generational warfare. And the question is, what is the purpose of conflict? And it's to typically, not always, but to gain control of resources or a political group. Usually it's to gain control of something. And it could be for ideological reasons or economic reasons. What we're witnessing now, what I would say maybe we're not going to have what's called a hot civil war but remain cold, is the use of information technology for the purpose of controlling populations, like you've described. Right. So in the broader picture, I would argue that what we are seeing now with TikTok and Instagram may actually stop kinetic conflict, which would be people shooting each other.
Yes.
And we may actually just end up with
Like, it really is the dumbest person's idea of a smart person. When he says shit like, it may end kinetic conflict, does it not give the exact same energy as Mac from Always Sunny saying, oh, don't worry, I gave him an ocular pat down? Let me pull this up.
Yeah, right, but those are the ones you gotta watch out for.
Those are the most dangerous hitchhikers, the ones that lure you into thinking they're sane by acting like normal people.
They act like they're normal, and then they carve you up.
No way it wasn't gonna happen. I had my eyes on them the whole time. See, I've always got an A, B, and a C strike plan to get us out of any potentially life-threatening situation.
Yeah, he probably just carved up his mother and father and he's running away on the road.
That's right. Could be, Frank. All I'm saying is that I'm ready for any situation. And that's why you're all safe as long as I'm around. Yeah, I did an ocular pat down and I cleared him.
Say what?
Sorry?
I'm saying that I did an ocular assessment of the situation, garnered that he was not a security risk, and I cleared him for passage.
Ocular pat down.
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm talking about breaking down the security situation, clearing an individual, and making it safe for passage.
Oh, how exactly do you view yourself within the context of our group?
The sheriff of Patties.
Attention!
That's how I feel watching Tim Pool. People are beginning to believe that the beginning of TikTok and Instagram will end all kinetic conflict. It's like, what the fuck? Who the fuck do you think you are, dude? Stop!
in the broader picture, I would argue that what we are seeing now with TikTok and Instagram may actually stop kinetic conflict.
Tell me I'm wrong. Like, tell me I'm incorrect. Tell me.
Which would be people shooting each other.
Yes.
And we may actually just end up with people being brainwashed and, waving Israeli flags or something.
Well, I mean, we're already kind of there. I mean, like, Peter Thiel and Elon Musk are, the two most powerful tech dudes, and even Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos to some degree. They're in Trump's pocket, or maybe Trump is in theirs. And there's just, online, there really isn't a way for the left to meaningfully take control, not in a real sense. I think that, yes, the country will continue to get polarized, but will we have a civil war? No.
Pause here. Thank you. You've been voted out by the majority.
No. How could they vote her out? I was enjoying listening to her speak. Tim Pool's the epitome of a Wikipedia idiot. Reads like half of a Wikipedia article, but they don't understand any of it. Well, how many times has Tim Pool pulled up like an article that he didn't read? Like, not misreading the article, like straight up, he didn't even read the article at all. I understand once, I understand twice, I understand 3 times. Sure, but it feels like an everyday occurrence. It's so...
All right, if you'd like to be the next debater, please head to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
I have to pee really bad.
Hello. When January 6th happened, I actually thought we were headed towards a civil war then. I thought, oh my God, this is really bad.
It's terrifying.
And so much so that...
And I do agree that was the closest I think that we got to, like, potentially believing in a civil war occurring, January 6th. Because those would be the people that would pull out their guns and just start shooting random people.
What ended up happening is that gun sales increased predominantly on the left because they were so afraid of what was going to happen. And we had been seeing documentaries and, news networks talking about the far right extremists who were already training with like AR-15s and things like that were attempting to potentially start a coup.
Sorry, guys, I really have to pee. I can't. I don't know why I'm holding it in. I'll be right back.
And so if we were talking back then, I would actually agree with you. The reason I disagree with you now is because we don't have a faction of the left that is nearly as violently motivated as the right is. So if we were to talk about a hypothetical civil war, then I would argue the far right would start it, specifically because of what you just said. You said that you would like to re-elect Trump, that you would vote for him for a third time. But you didn't say Vance. You said Trump, right?
Well, I corrected it.
And I think that goes down to the ideology of again, your argument around the Constitution, there is a faction of MAGA that wants him to run again and
Agreed, yeah.
skirt the Constitution
Yep.
so that MAGA can stay in power. I think in a hypothetical, that would lead towards a civil war.
I agree.
And so, okay, but people like yourself who continue to spew this type of rhetoric of, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? I think you want it to happen.
I think you're exaggerating the things that I've said about it. I mean, I think that last conversation was absolutely fantastic.
I think everything that you talked about is online, and people
So
can
I
just
think
look it up.
I've interviewed national security experts to ask them if they think this is going to happen. When you have one gentleman saying yes, and it's my fault, he doesn't have to like me. You don't have to like my opinions or what I do. But I think when you also say that when MAGA wants to elect Trump for a third time, you are correct, they do. And I also agree this is going to create an untenable situation for the country that I don't believe progressives or Democrats will accept. I don't see Trump and his base backing down, and I don't see the left, liberals, Democrats, or otherwise agreeing to back down. It's a simple question. Would anyone in this room sit back as Trump seized a third term in power? I don't think they would do it.
Yeah.
So you can have a fascist takeover, a revolution, or you can have a civil war if this is the case. And I hope to God it's not. Because you know what I'd prefer? I prefer to watch the soccer match and have some chicken wings. I don't want to deal with conflict crisis. I don't like having to live in I have multiple bodyguards with me today. I have to have people standing outside my house because I got
Are you
shot.
scared of the progressives in here?
I'm not scared of anybody in here. Actually, I think you guys have been absolutely lovely. But there are lunatics. In December of last year, someone drove by my property and opened fire on our buildings. And
You're going to blame that on the left too?
it was a left-aligned individual who did it, but I mean, I'm not blaming you guys for doing it. And I certainly would acknowledge that there are people on the right who engage in violence all the same. What I'm saying is I don't want you to be in fear of your life. I don't want to be in fear in my life. I prefer this. You guys have been absolutely awesome. We disagree. I mean, that guy really hates me, but I don't want him hurt or anything like that. I don't want to live in a country where people are attacking each other without trying to understand each other.
Right, but the rhetoric that you're spewing is leading towards that. You want Trump again, which means the rhetoric that you're spewing online,
Trump
the
won in
political
2024.
commentary that you're spewing online
I don't
is
want-
teasing
I don't
it.
want
It's
Donald Trump-
like, will they, won't they, will they, won't they?
I don't want Donald Trump for a
Guys,
third term.
Go
But
and have a civil war.
I would prefer, J.D. Vance, maybe Rubio, but
That's still MAGA.
And indeed, and understand that Trump won the plurality of the vote in 2024, and he has a large support base, despite his polls being very low. He does. And we'll see what happens with the Republican Party in 26 and 28. But you can't just wish away the existence of another political faction with a polarized worldview compared to yours. I do not see a reality where Republicans accept the worldview of the progressives who are gaining ground in multiple places, namely in New York. And I don't see the progressives accepting the Trump worldview as you've described it.
And the reason
gonna
that we're
pause
not
here.
going to
We're gonna
accept
pause
it
here.
is because people like you.
And the reason we won't accept it is
Thank
people
you.
like
We're
you.
gonna pause here.
Doesn't even make any sense. How many times is Tim Bull just gonna say no you in situations where it doesn't even make any fucking sense? I don't understand. I don't get it. Does he think it's effective?
Kissing Denims' feet.
This debate topic so much. Well, the people who are surrounded get to pick the debate topics. So of course he's gonna pick these shit ass debate topics. Contra, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs. Behind, thank you so much for the 20 gift subs. Yeah, I'm thinking it's a golden Kappa train. Yeah. Yeah, this is huge. This is going to be big for all of us here. Oi, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs.
If you'd like to be the next debater, please head to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Jeremiah. Okay, so we know that the USA is very resilient, right? We've weathered so much. So we've stayed intact, and we weathered 1968 riots, McCarthyism, what else? Civil rights era.
Civil War.
So, but the thing is, we've stayed intact, right? So my thing is that we
Session, thank you for the gifts of Eastern Mindset. Thank you for the 10 gift subs. What the hell? Thank you.
can have polarizing views, right? But nothing that we're dealing with right now is as intense as anything that I've just mentioned, and none of those things led to a civil war. So unless the right plans to enslave the left, how are we going to have a civil war?
So one example that I often say, which I don't know, that a lot of this is probabilistic. I like to use Colorado as an example. Okay. Colorado allows for abortion up to the point of birth at the woman's discretion, but Oklahoma bans it, and they share a border.
Okay.
So you have a potential for conflict in that regard because...
Does he think that everyone's going to pick up arms to defend the border between Oklahoma and Colorado.
Denims' feet.
Let me let him make his point. I'm sure it'll make a lot of sense, right, guys? Right? Right? Snooze, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs. Dirty, thank you so much for the 8 months. Catboy Meow, thank you so much for the, or Mao, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs. Explain, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Thanks, guys. So many of us are going to have golden kappas, guys. It's going to be
If
huge.
a woman is with a man and she's 7 or 8 months pregnant and she decides to get an abortion in Colorado where it's legal, the state will try to stop her. We have already had an instance where, I'm not sure, it was a southern state, it might have been Mississippi or Alabama, where they accused, they charged, I believe they attempted to charge a woman with conspiracy to commit abortion by fleeing the state. And so the issue that arises is at the ground level when a man says, you are taking my child to be murdered, and the woman says, no, it's a fetus, I'm getting an abortion, and this results in people on the ground traveling between jurisdictions with different laws, which creates a...
Does he think that people traveling across state lines to do things that are legal in one state but not legal in the other state is going to cause everyone to pick up ammunitions, to pick up arms? What the fuck fantasy novel is he writing? I don't understand. Huh? What?
Problem for Colorado and a problem for Oklahoma, which probably don't want to fight.
So, but what I'm saying is that if you're saying the nation would fight, we don't even see internal fights within the states, like separate states. I would think that we would see that first before we would see the nation fight.
Well, we saw in Texas when the Biden administration deployed...
Was that his example? That was his dope-ass example? Also, hi, Mick. Hi. Guys, can we get a shout out for Mick? Hold up. I can do this. Yeah, I'm something of a mod. Blocky, thank you so much for the 10 gift subs, by the way. Was that his fucking shit-ass example? People are gonna pick up arms because some women drive across state lines to get abortions? What the fuck is he talking about? Like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Federal police and the Texas National Guard came and they were actually in dispute over the concertina wire on the border because Texas doesn't have the constitutional authority to deport. They sent out their state National Guard in defiance of the federal
And we saw that
government.
overreach here in California when Trump did that overreaching
sending the
Newsom.
Marines.
But guess
into,
what? But the thing is,
marijuana
military
fields.
hasn't defected.
The claim is that we are tracking towards one, and I think that's an academic claim.
Okay, so
but it's also possible we have a rebel.
It's an academic claim. It's amazing. By that same metric, horoscopes are an academic claim. Honestly, I would argue horoscopes are more of an academic claim than saying a civil war is bound to happen any day now. You can't just say this is an academic claim before you say something and pretend like it is. I can't just say, no, good things will happen to you if you sub to this channel. That's an academic claim right there. That right there is an academic claim. You can't. That doesn't magically make it academic. Cute Karma, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Passia, thank you for the 17 months. Asapple, Liver, David, thank you guys so much for the subs. Flocky, thank you for the 10. Snooze, thank you for the 5. Thanks, guys. Tracking towards is intentionally vague and can't really be objectively disproven. He thinks he's doing some some clever, I was thinking of a different sentence at the same time because ADHD brain, some clever trick, but he's really just being annoying. Well, because it allows him that if the United States ever was to enter some utopian state, the United States just gets absorbed by China and we can have, healthcare and housing and we can get as close as possible to a utopia. He's like, he can always just claim, well, I said we were tracking towards, and then we stopped tracking towards one, and we reversed course. So, it's just so pathetic. It's just like, I think this is really indicative of the type of person that Tim Pool is. He picked these like really smarmy, shitty, Weasley prompts that he can just claim that, that's just his intuition based on all of the research he's done about political topics. But none of them are actually like based in some reality. They're not like hard topics that like clear-cut topics that can be debated with any type of resolution. I have to know what the next one is. The final claim is the Constitution effectively does not exist anymore. Like, do you see what I mean? Like, all of these claims are just, they're not even an attempt to try and base anything in reality because he knows his predictive abilities are so shit. He's the 49 state landslide guy. He's the my sources tell me Charlie Kirk is stable, please God guy. Like he's almost at Hutch's level where he's so wrong so fucking often that he knows better than to commit to any position because he knows he's more likely to be wrong than he is to be anything else. Like, it's actually so fucking pathetic that instead of making the prompt, I believe the Constitution will be destroyed in the next, like, we will rewrite the Constitution in its entirety in our lifetime, and pointing at a bunch of things as to why he thinks that. It's like these vague prompts that can mean as much as he wants or as little as he wants. And then at the end, when he gives up, he could just be like, well, we agree. We actually agree. So I don't even understand. Like, I actually agree with you, even though you're on the opposing side.
Originalists, some might say they're textualists. It doesn't even matter if they claim those things because their view of the Constitution has changed. As of today, there's actually two distinct large body politics, if that's the way you say it, and they do not agree on the interpretation of the Constitution. Thus, we are seeing claims the Supreme Court is no longer legitimate. We've seen that for some time now. We see Republicans.
Indeed.
Angry with Amy Coney Barrett and Kavanaugh over their rulings, and we are now hearing arguments that politicians should just ignore the Constitution outright, or the Supreme Court, I'm sorry, in this capacity, even though this would violate the Constitution.
But that wouldn't necessarily work because if the founding fathers were creating the document, they knew that this was going to continuously progress because they believed in the modernization of the United States that was going to continuously go forward. That's why you had Lincoln making the Reconstruction era amendments and even the progressive era amendments like the 16th Amendment with the income tax, the 17th Amendment.
Well, we're not arguing amendments.
But what I'm saying is that the Constitution has always been able to progress and change. If you're looking for the issues when it comes to the Supreme Court and what everybody else believes, that happens on the left and on the right. Everyone has the disagreements when it comes to the Supreme Court. But the problem is when you look at the Trump administration, what they're currently doing right now is making executive orders saying that they're going to ask questions about the 14th Amendment, when the reality is that he wanted to change the first section of the 14th Amendment to his own.
Is anyone stopping him?
The Supreme Court did, actually. Not only did the Supreme Court stop them, initially, that's what he was promised, he was hoping did not happen. That's why he was sitting in April with the Supreme Court, trying to be basically the muscle of the executive in the judicial.
So Trump hasn't stopped. In fact, they're preparing another executive order under the same line that was just rejected, but targeting territories.
But then you would agree with that the fault then would be coming from the political right then in this case, because when
it's not a question of fault, it's a question of we are not seeing. But my point largely is there is a left and there's a right in this country that are so distinct. Neither views the Constitution as being upheld.
But that's not necessarily true. When you look at
it is true.
Well, I'll explain to you as the reason as to why it's not true.
You think Trump's upholding the Constitution?
I don't think he's upholding the Constitution, but I know for a fact that the left has been, or the Democrats have been actually holding up the Constitution a lot more. If you look at, for example, with Bush,
do you think Republicans believe the Democrats are upholding the Constitution?
Do I think that the Republicans are holding it?
Do Republicans in this country believe Democrats are holding true?
Wait, I'm sorry. Who gives a fuck about what the Republicans believe? The Republicans are lying sacks of shit who will do everything that they can to go to war one more time.
Of course they don't, but that's because
that's the point. There is no unified body politic that operates under the U.S. Constitution.
That's specifically opinion-based.
Their opinion is not relevant for whether or not the Constitution effectively exists anymore. Believing other people uphold the Constitution, your belief can be wrong, so who gives a fuck what they think? Hello? The equivalent would be like the prompt of like, ice cream effectively does not exist anymore. And then being like, well, do Republicans think that ice cream doesn't exist anymore? Well, Republicans think there is no more ice cream, but the ice cream is totally gone. It's like, but I can go to the store right now and buy it. Why do I give a fuck what those people think? They're wrong. Like, hello? Their opinion is not relevant. It's whether or not it is factually true, whether or not the Constitution is repeatedly, frequently being violated. Hello?
Correct.
Well, hold on. When you look at different members, different presidential terms. You look at Trump, he's trying to take it down with the 14th Amendment through executive orders. The AUMF under Bush, he took away the ability for the Congress to actually declare war with that simple document because of September 11th. I haven't seen Obama do that. I haven't seen Biden try and do that whatsoever, especially when it comes to the past 20 years. The reason as to why we're in those situations is because of these two presidents. Now, what my argument is that while they may say, individuals may say this, what we're seeing is actual executive powers, legislative powers.
This is not the argument.
Actual judicial powers on the right that are specifically.
I mean, the prompt is just so. I'm sorry. I know I've said it like 4 times, but the prompt is just so fucking stupid because it's intentionally vague and subjective. So he gets to just be a smarmy little piece of shit for as long as he wants, right? Like, I agree, green shirt. Green shirt is always right, okay? Are there politicians that are frequently attempting to violate the Constitution and break as many rules as possible? Yes. Are there systems in place that theoretically still exist? Yes. Are there people that are attempting to use those powers to uphold the Constitution? Yes. What exactly are you defining as it doesn't exist anymore? Like, that people ignore it, that they don't care about it? I mean, okay. I mean, yeah, I would agree that there are a lot of politicians, basically exclusively Republican politicians, that don't care. Yeah, I saw that Mason went on Majority Report. I didn't watch it yet, though. Mentioned how the prompts were so bad, it was hard to debate. I mean, they're intentionally bad. These are like the worst prompts I've ever seen in my life. Like, I just can't believe this. Like, I just don't understand. Like, the prompt should be, I think Sam Cedar's prompts were really good. I think one of his prompts, no. It was, well, Sam Cedar's prompts are also good. But Mehdi Hassan, one of his prompts was, the only people that support or should support Trump's policies are white nationalists, Christian evangelicals, or evangelists, or billionaires and mega millionaires, multimillionaires. And there were so many people that went up and were like, yeah, I am a white nationalist and I like Trump's policies. And it's like, look up at prompt. Then why are you sitting there? I already said you would like Trump. I'm asking for someone to come up here and explain to me a policy of Trump's that actually helps anyone other than those groups disproportionately so. But you could theoretically fight that prompt and say, well, he had like the no tax on tips. And then you would argue that the no tax on tips was like, the opposition would argue that that was tied to a bunch of other policies meant to enrich the already richest people on the planet, et cetera, or at least in this country, but also on this planet. The world or this planet. So all of that was just to say, at least the other guests, even Dave Rubin, credit to Dave Rubin, who did not prepare at all. Credit to Dave Rubin, at least his prompts that he brought were arguable. You could argue against them. None of these prompts are arguable. All of these prompts are like, well, that's just how I feel. Well, that's just how I feel. It's like, that's not a good prompt. Hello? I'm curious what a guest would claim.
Around a claim is that in 2026, all moderates are cowards.
All right, well, no.
Sure. Yeah.
I certainly don't think I am. I think that one of the biggest problems that we have in this country is media polarization.
Totally.
There are family members of mine that only watch MS Now, and there are family members of mine that only watch Fox News, and I watch both. And so then I see, you know, when I turn on MS Now, the only thing they're talking about is going to be in.
Guess what? I watch both. I am the baseline, at least. I meet the baseline of intelligence to be able to be like, wow, Fox News is filled with nothing but propaganda that is actively only trying to make your life worse. And then CNN is like a step above that. And then MS Now is a slight step above that. You can still discern whether they're bad or not. Watching both is not. Also, sorry, I'll just press
one direction. I turn to Fox News. The only thing I'm talking about is the other direction. And this makes people really on edge and then say, I need to be on one side. It crafts a moral worldview. While I certainly understand your point, actually, let me do this. Are you saying take a side, stand up for something?
More or less. I'm saying that over the last, we'll say, 26 years, right, we have been, well, barring 2016. So from 2000 to 2016, we were kind of controlled by a centrist government. And I feel like that, even though Barack Obama was a progressive for his time, we view him now as pretty centrist, right?
Yeah.
We're in a room full of progressives.
I would agree, just even back then as well.
Right. That opened the door for someone like Donald Trump to come in and actively erode our Constitution and the very foundation that our country is supposed to be.
Well, is your argument that everyone should be against Donald Trump then?
No.
So then what's your gripe with moderates?
Centrism and moderation in 2026, in the age of APAC money, in the age
When do they start kissing is crazy. What the fuck chat have I created?
of Larry Ellison, Barry Weiss, all of these talking heads, all of these political entities, Peter Thiel, Mark Zuckerberg, all this technocracy that we are not far from, right? Why?
I mean, I think I understand the point that he's trying to make, but like, I think what he's trying to say is moderates have literally brought us to the era of Trumpism. Continuing to be a moderate is effectively completely incorrect. It is not feasible to remain a moderate. At least Republicans are, quote, pretending like they want to make a change. And in some ways, Project 2025 is a change. It's just a change for the worse. And hyper-progressive candidates are hyper-progressive. the max left are also trying to make a change, I would argue, in the direction of improving people's lives.
Do you get to sit in the middle and argue both sides while raking in dollars from these exact entities?
Well, what's your proposal? I guess I'm trying to understand. My view of what it means to be moderate is that sometimes the right is correct and sometimes the left is correct.
Sure.
And I think my view is, I come from, interestingly, the area of Chicago where I grew up has turned red. It's firefighters, it's cops, it's working class Joes.
Why is that?
That it turned red?
Yeah.
I think for a lot of these people, they feel that the Democratic establishment has abandoned them on a few issues.
Mm-hmm.
The mass migration that we saw, or the large migration, call it whatever you want.
Wasn't there a huge, like you're saying, wasn't there a huge migration of blue to red and red to blue, right? You made that claim.
You mean like
earlier.
California to Texas?
Sure.
And New York
Inner
to
city
Florida,
Chicago to outer city Chicago, suburbs, things like that.
Yeah, the people in my neighborhood didn't really move. They don't have the money to do so.
Sure.
So there is a large migration. Doesn't mean every neighborhood migrated, but particularly for where I grew up, it's interesting that the politics of the neighborhood kind of tracked alongside myself. Like in 2016, I was for Bernie. The area where I grew up, it was like largely blue. I didn't vote for anybody. In 2020, I said.
Translation: my positions are not set in stone because I am a fence-sitting coward.
I guess I'm going to vote for Trump. Those are things I don't like about him, but here's what I agree with and why I don't like
Why
Joe
did
Biden.
you vote for him?
Well, unfortunately, I think one of the big issues with Afghanistan, and I'm not going to say Trump's done well with Iran, particularly.
That's amazing. I have no words. I have literally no words. Like, okay, that's enough. That's enough. I don't understand the point of this guest prompt. Just like to give him a soapbox to talk about why all his shitty positions are so fucking shitty. I voted for Trump because of Afghanistan. Like, suck my dick, dude. Come man. I didn't know you were alive. No, it's whatever, dude. It really is the dumbest people you know. I just can't. I can't. All right, that's enough brain damage, I think, for one day. I think I've put enough people in a coma. I think I've created enough vegetables for one day, which means we'll pick this back up on shit Saturday. That's right. I will be back again tomorrow for another great stream. I can tell I'm starting to feel better and I'm not really sick anymore because when I'm sick and I stream, by the end of the stream, I feel like I'm like dead. Like I feel like, you know, when they like dry fruit and then the fruit gets like really small and it shrinks and it's like, that's how I feel when I stream and I'm sick. By the end of it, I'm like, I need rest, please. And I don't feel that way. So that has to mean that I'm getting better, which is dope.